Hi, welcome to MargaritaSays, and today's topic is loneliness. Loneliness is a very big topic for me because I feel lonely. A lot of times, very often, I feel this very, very deep loneliness. And let's just point out that I would like to point out that I do have few very good friends that I can talk to. And I do have friends. I do go out. But it's still, I feel at times very, very lonely. A lot of times I feel lonely. And I think it's very strange to me because in this world of Facebook, Instagram, text messaging, Skype, this constant connection that you can connect to people right away, instantly, yet we feel very, very lonely. And research shows that there are more lonely people than ever, people that feel very lonely and alone. We're more alone than ever. Loneliness is still a taboo, and I'd like to admit that I feel very lonely often. Sometimes, for me, loneliness means this longing for something, this crazy longing for connection with someone, longing to connect to the universe, longing to find special love, or maybe nirvana, enlightenment, or music. I don't know. I am single now, and you could say, well, you feel alone because you're single, but yet when I was in relationships, sometimes I felt very lonely being next to my partner. So I don't think that's the loneliness that I'm talking about. And people could feel lonely in marriages. People could feel lonely in relationships. People could feel lonely at work. People could feel lonely surrounded by their relatives. People could feel lonely at a loud party. So let's start with John Carpaccio's book on loneliness. And I was watching this YouTube video of John Carpaccio talking about the book, and the curator of the event rushed in to say, I just want to point out, everybody, that John Carpaccio is not lonely himself, and this book does not reflect his life. He's not lonely. He's quiet, all right. And he rushed in to say, yes, that's correct. I'm not lonely. This book does not reflect on me. And I thought that was a very interesting thing, because it kind of proves once again that loneliness is a taboo, and that loneliness for inadequate people, if you say you're lonely, you must mean you're inadequate, must mean you have no friends, it must mean that no one likes you, you have no family, you're the outcast. But it's not true. And also John Carpaccio, I think he does relate somehow to this topic, because he wouldn't spend years doing research and writing a book, few years, about the topic that he has no interest in, or he never experienced this feeling and never affected him. So I don't think he was quite honest about that. But again, we want to portray ourselves as outgoing, sociable, I have many friends, I'm cool, everybody likes me, and I never feel lonely, I feel great, but that's not, like a commercial, like a McDonald's commercial. But that's not the accurate life. It's like Facebook. Like when you look at the Facebook, everybody posts beautiful pictures of themselves, success stories. They post what they're doing, and it's usually a lot of fun, and how many friends they have. They're great friends, and hugging and kissing and loving each other. Everybody love each other. But I don't think that's accurate, because nobody posts on Facebook a picture of themselves when they just woke up, and when they're sick, or like when they feel worst. They don't post a story about that they got fired from a job, or that their boyfriend or their girlfriend left them, because that's not something we want to share publicly, and that's not something to brag about. So I think there's also such a phenomenon called Facebook envy, because people looking at the Facebook, they're envy their peers, because wow, look at, they're so successful and I'm not. But very often it's not the accurate description. John Carpaccio's book does bring to light something important. The more far away physically you are from the place you were born and raised, the more far away you're from home, the more lonely and isolated you feel. Therefore, immigrants must feel the loneliest, and that's very, very true. Immigrants that, like, and the more far away you're from your home, the more lonelier you feel. So that's proved to be true. Text messaging and FaceTime cannot replace face-to-face human interaction. You cannot hug a friend through a computer. Also, no Facebook or Twitter can replace in-depth conversation. Research shows that more people than ever feel alone now than ever before. And I have worked on 1-800 crisis line for people that are in crisis. And let me just point out that most of the people, 99% of the people that really called, were not in crisis. They were just lonely and they wanted somebody to talk. They wanted to share pieces of their lives with somebody, with a live human being, with somebody on the other line. And, I would just listen. People would tell me what they did today, who they saw, or what show they saw on TV, or their opinions. They just wanted someone to talk to. And this is a very interesting question. How could this be that in the world where so many people, more and more people feel alone? And I think to answer that question is you have to answer the question what loneliness really mean. And I don't know what loneliness or not being lonely, what not being lonely really means. And I don't know, because like loneliness for me, it's the longing for something that I'm missing, and sometimes I don't know what it is. But Stefan Molyneux, he points out that we only ask those big questions about meaning of life when we are unhappy or very much unsatisfied with our lives, with who we are. So maybe I think it's kind of the same thing when we feel unsatisfied with our lives, when we feel very unhappy and we feel like we're not connected to anything and things are not going the way we thought they should go, we thought the way we thought they ought to go. We start questioning the meaning of our lives. We start questioning the purpose of our lives, and I think we feel lonely the most. And I think that's a good point. And I think maybe the same goes for loneliness. Maybe feeling lonely is the same thing when we're unsatisfied in our lives and we feel disconnected, and that's when we start questioning everything. Maybe questioning things is a good thing. I have done my best work when I was very unsatisfied with the way things were, and I was trying to change things by asking status quo on a duel. So I do not have an answer how to solve loneliness, because I read articles online and some books, and some articles say, well, you got to join a cooking class, or you got to join a group and meet people. Well, I think that's part of it. You have to probably make your social circle, not the circus, a little bit bigger, and maybe by trying to meet people. But and I did that. I went to groups. I joined a couple of groups on meetup.com, and a lot of times I proved to be meaningless in the sense because when people go to these groups, they're strangers again, and most of the time we have small talk. Nobody really opens up. Nobody really puts themselves on the line. Nobody really offers a real value. I even went to a philosophy meetup group, and it was very, very surface-like conversation. Nobody opened up. Nobody told us about their lives. Nobody really put themselves out there. So it's kind of like we are communicating, but it's very superficial communication. So I don't have an answer how to solve loneliness, but I just want to say for me, some things that, some techniques or some things that work. And first of all, it's trying to do the things that make sense to you and trying to make your life meaningful every day, trying to make it meaningful. Then searching for very deep spiritual connections with people. So I always search for people that I can connect very deeply, that I can talk about different topics, and finding people that get me and I get them. I feel less lonely when I'm moving forward. I feel less lonely when somebody loves me and cherishes me. I feel less lonely when I can give my all to someone that can receive. When I cuddle with my dog, when I have discussions with my friends, debates, when I write music, I feel this connection and I don't feel alone at that point. However, no matter what I do, no matter what techniques or no matter what I do, sometimes the dark loneliness black dog comes out and reminds me that I still will die and I must leave everyone I love here. Thanks for watching.